I'm just making this video to demonstrate the little game I made for Point and Click Jam, which ran from mid-November 2014 to November 29th, 2014. Unfortunately, I did not get to actually start my game until about 5 or 6 days before the end, and on top of that, I don't have a lot of experience with the Unity engine that I was using. So it was a bit of an experience. I'm trying to learn more about Unity, but I wasn't able to find a lot about how to do adventure games with Unity and how to properly organize them. So I have to admit, except for the last afternoon and evening of the game jam, I was actually just working on framework issues, troubleshooting. So I admit this game is pretty rough. It's not really much of a game, to be honest. It's only a few minutes long, if that, and it has a pretty insipid story. It doesn't have much challenge. There's not much there, but I was happy to have it done. It was a good learning experience, and hopefully in the future I can come back and make something a little more impressive. Because, to be honest, I I worked mostly on getting the inventory working properly, to get scene transitions working properly, but I didn't really have a lot of time to, say, work on animation. So there's no animation to speak of. There's no sound, and so it's pretty limited. But anyway, here's a little video of it, and I'll show you how it works. The game is called The Hooper, and it's based on the well-known legend in New Brunswick, Canada, called the Dungarvan Hooper, and I'll just show it here. So click the start. We used to spend our summers on the Miramichi, the mighty Miramichi. The forest that surrounds its tributaries is a dark and wild place. I missed it, and I had not been back in years. I did not have a goal, just wanted to drive and explore the backwoods, or back roads, and as you can see, I used some pretty simple CGA graphics, sort of CGA palette, and you can see there's no animation. I just kind of move around. So you can click on the car. It's broken down, of course, as any good driving adventure game or story has. Broken down in the woods, and there's not really anyone around. So you can see here we have a shovel blade. It's broken. And walk to the next scene. So there's no cell phone signal, of course. There's no towns around here, but you can smell frying bacon, though. Maybe someone is camping out here. Maybe. The Dungarvan is well known for its fishing and camping, but not for much else. It's mostly just forest out there. There's nothing really to speak of. Outside of that, it's mostly government and crown land, and that's about it. I can still smell it, but no signs of people. So what is this? It reads Ryan Garvin, the Dungarvan Hooper. And so I just put this in here because some of the stories indicate that there's the Dungarvan Hooper's grave site is marked by a plaque that was put out there. I've not been able to find any solid evidence that this actually exists, but people say it in their stories. And this is a bit of a problem I had. Occasionally it doesn't go to the right, to the next scene. I have to kind of click. And there it goes. It's kind of weird. The Dungarvan Hooper's well-known story. He was a cook at a logging camp, and he was murdered for his money. And you can apparently still hear him screaming if you go out there in the middle of the woods. And to elaborate on that, some people think it's the Eastern Cougar, which is a bit of another legend in New Brunswick. It's a bit of a cryptozoological animal that probably doesn't exist any longer, if it ever really did there. And Anyway, it's you can apparently go out there and you'll hear his screaming and yelling like he's being murdered. So it's apparently pretty spine-tingling, and there's so many variants of the story, and everyone who lives on the Mirror probably can tell you a slightly different variation on it. Okay, so this is one of the big bugs I have so far. If you click on it, it's an abandoned logging camp, but you notice that he actually walks on top of the camp, and this is because Unity positions the center of the object to basically be in the center of this sprite, and right now I have it so that it walks to the center of the sprite and maybe either a little bit past or a little bit before it, and that works for small objects, but for big things like this it causes them to overlap them, which is a bit of a pain. So I'll keep walking. What is this? It's a large straight stick. I wonder if we can do something with that, and maybe a shovel blade. So you can see that I can just drag it on top. Oh, and the shovel's been fixed, so now we have a shovel, and you can see that it sits in the inventory, and it doesn't really interact with anything here. Okay, so what is this? It's a money belt, and you hear a scream, so I wonder whose money belt that could be. Horrifying screams. It's like someone's being murdered. Oh, I wonder who that is. It's getting closer to you. Okay, let's walk back. I wonder if it could be the Dungarvan Hooper's money belt. Well, the problem is he wants his money belt, and he's stuck in the ground. So let's use the shovel that we fixed. There his grave and his horrible remains are. Yes, you can see the beautiful, very pixelated art that I used. So let's give him his money belt. There, it's been returned. The Hooper no longer screams. And that's it, actually. It's really not much of a game. And I'm happy that I was able to get a kind of basic adventure framework built. I didn't use anything like the adventure creator for Unity. I did it in sort of straight Unity because I kind of wanted to use this as a project to learn more about how Unity works. But obviously that's a little bit difficult because you have to build everything from the ground up, and there just is not a lot of resources that I could find beyond a couple of game jam games that were poorly organized. And I have to admit, I started off trying to organize my code in really, really, really good fashion, but as things became more complicated, I found I had to kind of improvise and do poor coding standards. So obviously I have a lot to learn about game design and internal game design, the back end, the how to properly and logically code these things. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully I have some more updates in regularly. Whenever I make a new game or experiment with something, I'll try to post a few things. So yeah, anyway, thanks, bye.